So today we are going to work on the rational roots theorem to figure out one by one what things you need in your test. First one is checking if the factors theorem can help us figure out any given factor. If it's like if I'm picking up the factor over here, we have been given four different choices, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we can check if any of these is actually a factor of the given polynomial, this one. And the easiest way, best way to check it, you can do a synthetic division. You can use the Desmos. I will do one factor with the synthetic division. Let's do that together. We have done this already in your class also. If you don't remember, let's do it now. What's the coefficient over here? The coefficient over here is going to be 1. First of all, I'm going to set it up for the synthetic division. And the way to do it is to simply bring in all the coefficients of the arranged or in standard form, the polynomial. What will I put over here? Just the coefficients. I don't want to put the x over here, the 44 and then a 48. The statement over here, it's directly from Delta Math, the assignment that you have with you. And this specific question is asking us to figure out that factor or that expression from the yellow highlighted ones, which is not a factor. So what I can do the synthetic division for each and every single one and check if it ends up with a 0 or not. If it ends up with a 0, then it's a factor. And whichever one will not end up with a 0 is not a factor. Now I will start with x minus 2, and x minus 2, if I will equate that to a 0, this will give me x equals 2, which is the number that I will bring over here as per the synthetic division. And then I will drop down this 1 over here. Then, like we did, we will multiply this 2 with a 1 and bring it over here. That gives me a 2. Then I will solve these together and bring it down, whatever is the sum or difference. Here I will get a negative 10 because negative 12 times negative 12 minus 2 is a negative 10. Next thing, I will now multiply it with a negative 2 and bring it up over here, which gives me a negative 22. And that ends up, hold on, which gives me a 20, not a 22. Oh, if you would have been here, somebody can get an extra credit, negative 20. So what we will get now from here, a 44 minus 20 gives me a 24 positive, which I will again multiply with this. And that will give me a 48. Now what's missing? This 48 was negative, negative 48, positive 48 will give me a 0. So we got a 0. Then this is a factor. That means this is clearly a factor. So that's not my right choice. Similarly, you can check one by one for negative 4, which will become x equals a 4. You can check for x equals a 6. And you can check for x equals 8. One by one using synthetic division, and that will give you the check if it's a factor or not. The other possible way that we can do over here is to bring it up over here in Desmos, scientific calculator, the one that we use, put it over here, x cubed, not here, sorry, f of x equals x cubed. And then what else do we have? Negative 12x squared. This is the same way you will solve the first 5 questions in your Delta Math assigned work. 4x, 44x, and then minus 48. Once you have it there, what will you do? Hit enter. Now what we pick over there, f of 2. As soon as you will do f of 2, you see on the right hand side, you got here a 0. That means 2 is a factor. Now check for f of 4, that tells you it's a 0, a factor again. What about f of 6? That's also 0. So what about the f of 8? That's a 48. That tells me x minus 8 is not a factor, and that's going to be my answer. Which fact have we used over here? The fact that a is a factor of a polynomial if the f of a is a 0. That's what we name and we call as a factor theorem. Factor theorem. So the first 5 questions in your Delta Math are helping you to practice the factor theorem. You're not being tested for the. My board is also not working properly here. Here, got it.